And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We're getting there, so keep subscribing, watching, commenting. Keep the comments coming and share with your friends because, again, the stupidity coming out of DC, the idiocy, the nonsense, it's not stopping. Now, meanwhile, on Thursday, Trump announced that Mike Waltz could no longer be the national security advisor, but instead nominated for United Nations ambassador, right? You screw up in one area, you become nominated for the UN ambassador. Now, there's a lot to say about this, but maybe most importantly, Waltz will now have to go through Senate confirmation. Here's Trump's Truth Social post announcement of this act. In it, he turns around and he says, I am pleased to announce that I will be nominating Mike Waltz to be the next United States ambassador to the United Nations. From his time in uniform on the battlefield, in Congress, and as my national security advisor, Mike Waltz has worked hard to put our nation's interests first. I know he will do the same in his new role. In the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as national security advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Together, we will continue to fight tirelessly to make America and the world safe again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I mean, it's almost like something that you would hear being read on a train before the doors close. And meanwhile, less than 24 hours before his firing, Mike Waltz was in the cabinet meeting. Yeah, this is true. He was in the cabinet meeting doing what they were all doing, praising Trump. Play that clip.
Mr. President, the last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden. And then we had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
You know what we didn't have, Mike? We didn't have Signalgate. That we didn't have. Meanwhile, during that cabinet meeting, the press caught Mike Waltz on Signal again. Yeah, this idiot. By the way, a smart person, a guy with half a brain or a quarter of a brain, would just wipe Signal off his phone altogether. The press caught Mike Waltz on Signal again, showing his conversation that was going on with Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, and Steve Witkoff. Let me show you the photo of it. Meanwhile, I mean, could you imagine? They actually caught it. What did he think was going to happen? This moron. And Brett Baier, on Fox News, of course, interviewed Vice President J.D. Vance, and he asked him about Mike Waltz, where, of course, Vance claimed it wasn't a firing. Stop. It was a promotion. Play the clip.
President, thanks for the time.
Good to see you.
I want to talk to you about all this trip and what the purpose of it and your speech.
Sure.
But I want to start with the breaking news.
Yeah.
Why was Mike Waltz let go?
So he wasn't let go. He is being made ambassador to the United Nations, which, of course, is a Senate-confirmed position. I think you can make a good argument that it's a promotion. But we brought Mike on to do some serious reforms of the National Security Council. He has done that. I like Mike. I think he's a great guy. He's got the trust of both me and the president. But we also thought that he'd make a better UN ambassador as we get beyond this stage of the reforms that we've made to the National Security Council. You saw the president announce that Marco Rubio is going to step in as interim leader of the National Security Council. So I think the media wants to frame this as a firing. Donald Trump has fired a lot of people. He doesn't give them Senate-confirmed appointments afterwards. What he thinks is that Mike Waltz is going to better serve the administration, most importantly, the American people in that role, and I happen to agree with him.
But was it?
Yeah, as long as you agree with him. And a lot of people can make the argument that you're an idiot. Meanwhile, Brett goes on and asks Vance if Waltz's switch-up was about Signalgate. What do you think? Play the clip.
Was it a direct result of the Signal chat? I mean, you were on that chat, and we saw the fallout from it. Is this a result of that?
No, it's not, Brett. I mean, look, what we came into the administration, and of course the president in his first term had some serious issues with the National Security Council. He said, Mike, you need to go in here, fire, frankly, a lot of people who aren't loyal to my agenda, who we think aren't even loyal to the American people, bring in the right collection of people to actually make the National Security Council function. And Mike has done that. And now it's time for Mike to do something else because he's done the job that I think he was asked to do. If the president wanted to fire him over the signal thing, which, by the way, was a total nothing burger of a story, he would have just done it. But he actually decided it's better for Mike to be in this new role. He's given Mike the new role. That's it.
So what is the message?
What do you mean it's a nothing burger? It made the front page of every single newspaper in the world. That's how Trump makes determinations on whether something is significant or not. Meanwhile, Vice President Vance continues to try and to spin Waltz's story. Play the clip.
That it's a change.
Yeah. And if I can give some background into that question, Brett, I've already seen some folks saying that this is a war between the hawks and the anti-hawks, the
MAGA,
neoconservatives versus MAGA, or the realists. That's not what this is about at all. Mike is a person, one, I think he's a good guy. He has my complete trust, and I know the president really likes Mike Waltz. He just thought that the UN ambassador position would be a better place for Mike Waltz to be. But the entire idea that this is about a national security team, and I know why the media wants to report this story, because it's an exciting story. It's also a fake story.
Let's talk about your tour here.
What bothers me more than the lies coming out of J.D. Vance's mouth is the fact that Brett didn't even push back. He didn't push back. Don't say it's a fake story. Let's look at the facts here. You're talking about a mistake where you added the wrong person to a operational war plan using Signal, a non-authorized app, a non-secure app. This is not a fake story. Brett, of course, goes on and brings up the fact that Mike Waltz will now have to be confirmed by the Senate. Play that clip.
So yes, we've got total faith in Pete, but even the question, Brett, I think betrays a certain misunderstanding of what the goal here is. Mike Waltz is being moved from one administration job into a separate administration job where he has Senate confirmation. That's not, I think, what it's being framed as. That's the president deciding a guy who's a very good guy in Mike Waltz could do a better job at a different role.
And he's going to fight for him in the Senate.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fight for all of our nominees.
Yeah,
I think we actually got all of our nominees through.
You did.
No, not all of them, but we'll agree to disagree on that, except you're probably closer to right than wrong. Brett also asked Vance if Pete Hegseth is safe after Signalgate. Play that clip.
What is the message to allies around the world? I mean, is Pete Hegseth safe as Defense Secretary? Are there other changes coming?
Well, again, I think certainly yes, Pete Hegseth is safe, and I think our cabinet secretaries, you saw yesterday the president, they're all doing a great job. On Pete in particular, I think the thing that is most underappreciated about Pete Hegseth and the great job that he's doing is we came in with the military with a serious morale problem. Recruitment and retention goals in most of the major services were way off. Pete has brought a certain esprit de corps. I think the leadership style has inspired a lot of people to join the military. We're now exceeding our recruitment goals. So yes, we've got total faith in Pete, but even
amazing. One lies, the other swears. Anderson Cooper, by the way, then speaks to John Bolton about this Waltz situation, considering Bolton has also been both the NSA and the United Nations ambassador. Play that clip.
To have you on. Obviously, representing the U.S. and the UN is an important job. Do you believe Vice President Vance, his claim that Mike Waltz is leaving his job, not because of the Signal scandal, but because the White House wanted to promote him?
Of course not. I mean, I think it really just shows how little about national security J.D. Vance knows. If you took 100 people anywhere in this country who know anything about national security, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, and asked them objectively, do you think national security advisor or UN ambassador is the more important job? I will bet a small amount, I will bet a large amount of money that 90 out of 100, if not 99 out of 100, would say national security advisor is the more important job.
By the way, you have a lot of credibility on this, given that you've held both of these positions. So in your opinion, having been the U.S. ambassador to the UN, you say the national security advisor is a more important job.
I don't think there's any question about it. I love being UN ambassador. Don't get me wrong, yeah. but it doesn't compare.
Bolton then goes on, also speaks about why the announcement took so long. Play that clip.
This news that Waltz was imminently on his way out, not that he was just a dead man walking and would go maybe in August or at some point so that nobody could claim Trump had bowed to media or Democratic political pressure. And somehow it took on a life of its own, and Trump wanted to find a way to ease the passage. They had a vacancy given Elise Stefanik's nomination had been pulled, and somebody said, maybe Trump himself, hey, why don't we give the UN job to Mike Waltz? It was also pretty clear that they had not picked a successor, whatever the state of play in Waltz's departure was. An organized White House would announce the successor immediately. And the fact that they didn't have a successor showed they weren't ready to make the announcement. And to have Marco Rubio serve on an interim basis is just absolutely bizarre.
I don't know much about Mike Waltz other than the fact that he's a bumbling fool, that he made the stupid mistake of including a journalist onto top secret military war plan chat, like the kind of chat that you use when, I don't know, you're setting up a pizza party with a bunch of friends for Super Bowl. I have no idea, but I can't wait to watch the Senate confirmation hearings on this, because everybody has to bring up this issue. This isn't just derelict. This is sheer stupidity. This is idiocy. Now, I understand everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes you include somebody on your group chat that you should, but a group chat that you're not even supposed to be on because it's an unsecured site on military war operational plans? And this is the guy who you want to make our UN ambassador? Wow. You know, I actually want to end on a lighter note. The lighter note is Jon Stewart's Daily Show put out an abso-freaking-lutely hilarious fake signal chat discussing Mike Waltz's firing from his position as NSA. Let me show it to you. It turns around and it's from Pete Hegseth. Team update. POTUS has authorized us to launch a pink slip at Mike Waltz. He will be fired at 1100 hours. OPSEC is secure. It's then responded by J.D. Vance. Excellent. Marco Rubio, with his famous emojis, 3 clapping hands. Mark Wahlberg. Let me say that again. Mark Wahlberg. I think you added the wrong MW to this group chat instead of Mike Waltz. Jennifer Hegseth, Pete Hegseth's wife. Pete, need me to pick up orange juice at the store? Pete Hegseth, love you. Soon. Awesome work. Alex, that's Rover's dog walker. Cool. Thanks, Mr. Hegseth. And of course, you then have it finished. Great to meet you last night, right? Followed by Mike Waltz. Am I supposed to be in this? This is absolutely hysterical. It's hysterical because this is the same stupidity, the same. If it wasn't real, it would be funny. Saddest part is that it was real. And that's why I constantly say, please share with your friends. Share with your friends. We must build this community so big, so strong that we cannot be ignored, so we can stop this sort of nonsense. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.